What's up, guys? Tugi here. This is NHL 17. This is my Quebec City Nordiques franchise mode, and in this episode, we continue simming through Season 3. Now, a couple of quick things, a couple of quick notes you guys had in the comments section of the last episode. Number one, people wanted to know who the captains were, and I haven't really changed it since I said it last year. Matt Duchene's an alternate because we traded Boone Jenner, and that's who the game gave it to. Vlasic is an alternate, I think because we had an open spot from when we traded Ryan Murray. I'm actually not even sure why he has a letter. And David Savard's still the captain. The only thing I would change is giving Jones and Brendan Saad letters, but I don't know if it's worth doing mid-season. You know, no need to really screw with the morale system right now. But taking a look really quick, because we also changed some player types, as, you know, we wanted to do. Matthew Tkachuk is back to power forward. He has a ridiculous shot. He should be a good sniper, but maybe power forward will be his bread and butter. He only has 11 points so far this season. We really need him to turn it on. Defensively, there have been quite a few changes. Vlasic was defensive D. We have changed him to a two-way, as suggested. Probably a good call. I mean, his shooting's a little bit weak, but no doubt he is a good two-way. Seth Jones has been switched to an offensive defenseman. Again, probably a good call. Doesn't have the best shot in the world, but his puck skills, his skating, his defense category, perfect offensive defenseman. Hampus Lindholm still a two-way, which I think is fair. David Savard still a two-way, which I think is fair. And then we have Darnell Nurse, who we've switched from a two-way to a defensive D, which I think is fitting. You know, the puck skills, he's good enough to be a two-way, but when you have the top four that we do, fuck it. Darnell Nurse and, as you will see, Julius Bergman, who has also been switched from a two-way to defensive D. We don't need you to provide the offense. We just need you to shut teams down, and that's what we're going to hope they can do. As far as the goaltending goes, Andrew Hammond, he's performed a little bit better since we switched him to a butterfly goalie in the middle of last episode. We're going to give him one more month to see what happens, but there's already a backup on my radar, and it's a little bit of a swift kick, because I took a look, just a swift kick to the balls, because I took a look at the player stats around the league. Feel free to take a guess at what goalie has the best save percentage in the league right now. Just take a guess. Go ahead. You got a couple seconds. You have a couple seconds. Just take a moment and really think. What goalie has the best save percentage? Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. It's Jonas Enroth. Because of course it is. Jonas Enroth, who signed with Vancouver on a one-year deal in free agency, has a .948 save percentage through 8 games. So we will, if Andrew Hammond continues to struggle, we will go out and get Jonas Enroth again. To be honest, I wanted to keep him. I just didn't expect him to be signed in the regular season, or in the off-season, excuse me. I figured we'd just be able to pick him up at the beginning of the preseason, like we did last season. That didn't happen. But anyway, we are moving forward. Like I said, we have one more month here. Hammond will get at least one of these 2 games, maybe even more. I'm thinking if we lose 2 or 3 in a row, we'll give Hammond a chance. But we've lost our last 2 games, so Korpisalo really needs to turn it around here. And actually, I think I'll give Hammond this game as well against Arizona, since it's a Western Conference team. But this is the schedule. This is the month ahead before we get into January. Let's see how the Nordiques can do. 11-7-3. Can we stay in playoff contention in a very tough division? A quick update, guys. We're only a couple of games into the sim, and Seth Jones has gone down to injury for, I think, a week or so. So he's going to miss a couple of games. Rasmus Andersson gets the call-up. He'll make his NHL debut. David Savard now on the top pairing with Vlasic. Let's hope this doesn't hurt us too much. Now, unfortunately, I'm stopping this just a little bit sooner than I planned, because right now, things aren't going too well. Like I said, we have the Seth Jones injury. Puljujärvi has just come back, which is going to be nice. But we've been shut out in 2 consecutive games. Hammond got the game against the Arizona Coyotes, so I don't exactly blame him. We are still currently in a playoff spot, but I'm going to be changing up the lines because we have no choice. Puljujärvi will be back in place of Zach Hyman. But I'm going to put Saad up on the top line with Duchene and Toffoli. Tkachuk, Wenberg, and Bjorkstrand is going to be the new second line. So Tkachuk and Dubois both have power play time in hopes that that will actually help out. Now, Dubois has 10 points. I believe Wenberg only has 9. Indeed, that's the case. But Wenberg has pretty much the same point total with a little bit lesser talent. So I think that's going to be a good way to go. And Matthew Tkachuk, 13 points. I can't help it. I cannot help it. We're going to put him on the second pairing or the second line and just see what he can do. But right now, we are struggling, and we really need things to start going our way. December has come to a close. It is January 2019, and the Nordiques are in trouble. A 17-15-3 record. You can see here, there have been a lot of struggles. We've been shut out quite a few times. I think we were, shut out 3 times? 4 times in that month. A 1-0 loss to the Bruins. Overall, things just aren't going great. We have solid players. We've dealt with injuries. There have been some people that have missed. Right now, we are out of the playoff picture, which is not good. Like where the Carolina Hurricanes are is truly where we should be. So it is incredibly frustrating. We'll take a very quick look at the team here. These are the lines that we have been rolling with, at least for the past couple of games, which really haven't been working. Matthew Tkachuk up to a decent point total, but it's it is still pretty disappointing. Sonny Milano's been terrible. Only 7 points with his skill set is incredibly disappointing. Dubois, only 12 points with his skill set, splitting time between the first and second line, is incredibly disappointing. 4 points for Puljujärvi in 20 games. Yes, he's been injured, but 4 points in 20 games? Get the fuck out of here. He actually spent a small amount of time on the top line because whenever I go best lines, it puts him on the top line. The fourth line hasn't been terrible. Gauthier at 9 points, 8 for Krediles, and 9 for Mats Olsson, who of course has spent some time on the third line. Defensively, not great either. Vlasic, -9, 6 points. Not great. Seth Jones, 4 points. 4. That entire month as an offensive defenseman. He missed a little bit of time, but still, a -3. 4 points. Fucking terrible. Hampus Lindholm, 6 points is a -3. David Savard has 12 assists. He's a -8. Third pairing, not bad. They're doing their goddamn job. I don't know what to do at this point. Do we split up that top pairing? I mean, yeah, they're playing against the team's, best players. But my God, Joonas Korpisalo has been great. He is far from the issue. He's the only reason we are as good as we are right now. Andrew Hammond's going to be traded, which it's going to take a small hit on the locker room. But at this point, we need a more reliable backup. So what we're going to do is we are going to make that trade for Jonas Enroth as I planned. We're going to sim to the AllStar break. If we've turned it around, I'll probably sim closer to the trade deadline. If we haven't, I'm calling this episode quits at the AllStar break because we are going to have to make some decisions, because if we miss the playoffs with this team, we are in a very bad spot. It looks like I'll actually be able to tack on a draft pick or 2 as well. Probably not a third, but let's aim for this. We don't necessarily just need all of that. We'll aim for 4ths and 5ths and just take some of that off as we go along. Can we get anything decent? All right, if we're down to just a 4th, can I tack on a 6th and a 7th? What do you say? Andrew Hammond to Vancouver. Sweeten the deal just a touch. A 4th and a 6th I'm fine with. They're not, though. So you know what? I will actually tack on a 7th, and I'd have to anyway, because this will put us at 12 draft picks. And that goes through. So Andrew Hammond in the 7th to Vancouver for Jonas Enroth, a 4th and a 6th. So Jonas Enroth is back in the fold, a more reliable backup goalie. We gave Andrew Hammond a chance, but as we have seen, as this team has proved, overall, and just in general, good attributes aren't everything. It is a shame he fell to an 81 overall, but that's the way this morale system works. So like I said, let's start to sim towards the All-Star break, and if we just cannot get our shit together, we'll cut the episode off there, because we need to start winning games. And actually, we've had an AHL injury, so I can take this time to show you guys how good the Monsters are doing. Gorodov is up to an 80. Stenlund up to a 79. And, of course, we still have Michael Matheson at an 82. So right now things are going very well for Cleveland. Now, rather than stopping at the All-Star break, we simmed the entire month of January, and that's because heading into the All-Star break, things were looking very good. 3 consecutive wins, including over the division leader Carolina Hurricanes. And even after that, we only had 1 regulation loss in 5 games. We have a 27-19-4 record, so things are really starting to finally go our way. And like I said, the Cleveland Monsters have been great all year, 29-10-2 record. So things are looking up for us. Right now, we are in a playoff spot in the first wild card spot. We're 1 point back of the Washington Capitals and only 3 points back of New Jersey and Carolina, who are both at 61 points on the season. It's a very close race. We could very, very easily, over the next 32 games, end up taking the division title, or we could very well end up completely out of the playoff structure. It's going to be interesting to see what this team ends up being. But as we move forward, of course, the next episode will be the trade deadline, and we will wrap up Season 3. Another quick look at the team. Matthew Tkachuk, only 11 goals, still disappointing, but the point total is going up. Matt Duchene, playing pretty well. I'm happy with him. And Tyler Toffoli. I am also disappointed in him. 7 goals, but he has 23 assists, so it's tough to say. I mean, should we switch him to a playmaker? I mean, he definitely is, good enough to be a sniper, but I don't know, maybe we should just leave him as a sniper because he's, still putting up points. Brendan Saad right now, 26 points, isn't terrible. Wenberg has actually been very disappointing, splitting time between the second and third line this year. He's had power play time. That's a disappointing total. Bjorkstrand, not as good as I would have hoped. Kind of disappointing. Sonny Milano's been awful. Just awful. Like, what do we do with him? Like, he still has so much potential. I just don't know what we have to do to get him to actually start playing up to that potential. Same with Dubois. He's been terrible. He's been injured, I think, twice this season. Still pretty bad. Same with Puljujarvi. I mean, I don't plan on trading a 20-year-old prospect with elite potential, but it's been disappointing. Fourth line, not too bad. There have been some injuries, of course, so some of them have gotten play time on the third line. Right now, though, Seth Jones, 1 goal. We switched him to an offensive D, as suggested. He just hasn't gotten it done. Same with Lindholm. I mean, David Savard has the lead in terms of point total by a very large margin. So, underperforming players, Jones, Vlasic, Lindholm, do we mess with their player types? The goaltending has been great. Korpisalo is up to a 90. He has a .934 save percentage in 39 games. He is going for a fucking Vezina right now. And again, 90 overall goalie at 4.5 mil for the next 2.5 seasons. You can't beat that. And Jonas Enroth's been great since coming back, still maintaining a .923 save percentage. In the AHL, like I said, Gorodov is improving. Abramov has improved. And defensively, I think no matter what next episode, we'll trade Michael Matheson. He's not going to make our roster most likely. But that'll put Carlson on the top line. Ralph Jarrett will get in, and then we can get another one of our prospects in. Jarrett has gone up by 2 overall points, so I think it's worth giving him the bump. And Kozlov has gone up to a 74 with a .918 save percentage, leading the way for the Monsters. So things are going our way, which means I don't know if I want to make any major changes, but it could definitely be better. It could definitely be going better for our team right now. No trades, no signings, but I have been getting offers for the likes of Henrik Lundqvist, Jimmy Howard, and what's his name? Gustav Nyquist also from Detroit. So teams are starting to look to offload some players. Maybe we can take advantage of that. As you can see, Detroit really looking to get rid of some salary, which I do not blame them. Ben Bishop, by the way, signed with Montreal after the first year and has been on the trading block ever since. But I don't want to make this episode go on any further, guys. That will do it for this one. As always, this is your time to shine. Let me know down in the comments below what we should do. How do we make sure this team makes the playoffs? We are 3 years in. The first year as the Blue Jackets, it was kind of understandable. We had our hands tied for the moves we could really make, and we missed the playoffs. Last year, We should have made it. We didn't. This year we have the champions status. We need to make the playoffs at the very least, and we need to do well, if we're being honest. But that'll do it for this one, guys. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button to help support my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time.